Hey, it's Antti. Today I'm gonna show you how you can match saturation when you're doing composite images. So let's check it out. Last week I posted a tutorial about how you can match tones when you're doing composite images, and that was received quite well. So I decided to post a kind of a follow-up for that, because when you're doing composite images, saturation is something that you have to match too. And I have found out this technique that helps you to do that better. It's not my original thing. I have found it somewhere else and kind of found my own way of using it. Let's go into Photoshop and I will show you how I use that technique. So here we have a tank girl picture that I took in Wales in some Comic-Con events. For example, here I've done already the selective color matching tones picture. The tutorial, you can find it here. So first I will do these check layers. So you can see that tones are different, and then here I have done the selective color matching the image. So now the tone should be, and when I uncheck these you will see that it looks more reliable for this scene. But the other thing that I need to match in this stage is also the saturation, and that is really hard to determine by only looking by your... I mean, it looks just fine if you look, but there's something, you know, that your eyes cannot kind of handle that good. So that's a saturation. I found out also this help layer thing to kind of see better what is more saturated and what is not. I had to actually learn this technique because I had this one picture that I was trying to replicate the shades of grass, and I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what needed to be changed, and when I discovered that it was so much saturated, I was like, whoa, this is kind of the saturation is so important when you are blending the images together. The technique starts by creating on top of all these layers now selective color layer. You get this dialog where it's all these colors, and what you need to do is select first from the reds. Here from colors go reds, and then you just get the black slider up onto -100. Then yellows goes to -100. Greens goes to -100. It has to be in absolute mode. Cyans in up -100. Blue -100. Magenta -100. But then the whites goes to +100. Neutrals +100. And the blacks goes +100. And what this gives us is saturation map. So the more white, more lighter color, more shade of gray it is, that's more saturated, and more darker, that's less saturated. So for example, from here in this image you can already see that, for example, these tones, if I'm matching, for example, these saturation, you can see that the blue is way much more saturated than the grass over here. So these are the points that we are able to look now, and I can see clearly that this is a bit too more saturated image than my background. So now I can just go here and make a hue saturation slider and only affect that our tank girl over there, and we can just start pulling the saturation down. We can just see by eye, or we can do also that we can choose the info bar here, and we have to click the selective color, this layer, and we can kind of see, if you're looking at here, these values, for example the grass over here, it says around 85, 90, and without the hue saturation layer, these will say about 140, 120, and now I have desaturated the image, so now we are around 90, so we can desaturate it slightly more, maybe around 33, and again we can see now we are under 90, 85, and that's the same kind of values I'm getting from here. And now I just uncheck the selective color layer, and you can see what needed to be changed, and now we have also matched the saturation. The hues, the colors are really important, but that also is the saturation. So with these two techniques that I've shown you, you are able to blend your images way much better together. If you like these videos, put a thumbs up, write a comment, because I need your feedback. Let's talk about this. And if you want to go a bit further, please subscribe my channel so that I know that you are there, and have a great one. Antti out. Tutorial!